Episode 2 of the amazing Digital Circus is out, and it turned out really cool. It ended very quickly, and we all obviously want a sequel, because there are a lot of moments left here that were left clearly unfinished, like the fact that Fudge the monster got into Candy Canyon or Pomni almost getting abstracted. She was on edge. Also, let's not forget the teasers that Glitch did, and they weren't in the second episode. Which begs the most interesting question. When will the third episode of Digital Circus be released, and what should we expect there? By the way, somewhere in the video I hid a photo of Fudge Monster, and anyone who finds it will get one interesting theory in the comments. I'd like to start with the estimated release date of the third episode. It is known that several other new episodes were being developed in parallel with the second one, so the wait for new episodes now will not be as long as the second one. Just this explains the teasers that did not appear in the episode. Such teasers are taken from other future episodes. Based on the calculations that the third episode is about halfway done at the time of the second episode's release, I believe that the new episode is expected in late August, early September. What do we know about the teasers? Gooseworks mentioned that teasers are handled by the marketing team, so teasers may not always be reliable enough. Plus, Gooseworks admitted that she herself may have intentionally lied in some of her answers to fan questions. It turns out that the development team behind the amazing Digital Circus may have intentionally given information unrelated to the second episode. They're doing this in order to raise the hype for the release of the new episode. Plus, they want to make us make wrong guesses and theories so that the real plot remains unpredictable. But I think the teasers with scenes that didn't appear in episode 2 are from episode 3. There are several reasons for this. The first is that the trailers and teasers showed us characters that didn't appear in episode 2. After all, these characters do not belong to the Candy Career location. Now, we can say this for sure, because in the room behind the map in the Candy Canyon location, we didn't see their models. The second reason is that Ragatha said that Kane often likes to use old NPCs from already completed adventures a second time. Gooseworks herself has often been asked this question and has avoided answering it. I believe that in this case, avoiding giving an answer, but drawing attention to the question, is the same as answering yes. By the way, there is a lot of unfinished business left in Candy Canyon. The characters left the Candy Kingdom the moment the Fudge monster attacked it and started devouring everything around it. Jax essentially let Fudge into the kingdom, leaving the gates open. Obviously, the new problems in Candy Canyon are the main character's fault, and they will have to resolve the conflict that was created. Also, the characters were unable to visit the Jelly Crocodile village that Gumagoo, Max, and Chad talked about. The thing is, Kane definitely has this location in mind, but hasn't created it yet, and therefore hasn't utilized it in the adventure. Speaking of which, Pomni will definitely want to visit his new friend Gumagoo again. The fact that Kane immediately sprayed him as soon as he showed up at the circus tent was a very unpleasant experience for Pomni. With each episode, Pomni has more and more reasons to hate Kane. By the way, I want to remind you that Gooseworks was once asked a question about whether someone could punch Kane in the face. She answered that it would be either Pomni or Zooble. This led me to a theory. According to her, in episode 3, Pomni will be trying to talk to Gumagoo and spend time with him, and Kane will be in their way. Kane hardly wants players to come in contact with NPCs who have realized that they are NPCs and their entire personality, memories, are fiction. Let's look back at all the new characters that didn't show up in episode 2. The huge hand that moved Jax and Fast Food and Orbsman did not appear. This is because these characters belong to a fast food location that has yet to appear in the story. Martha Mildenhall and the little ghost that appeared in the first trailer of the new episodes for less than a second have yet to appear. They also definitely have nothing to do with Candy Canyon and are tied to the haunted house or cemetery locations. I think all of these new characters will appear in the third or fourth episode. I also want to mention one old teaser that showed Princess Lulalalu, Martha Mildenhall, Orbsman, and Gumagoo in the reflection of the polished floor. It seems to me that this place is very similar to the room behind the map, shown to us in episode 2. I told you earlier that it's likely that every location in the Digital Circus has similar rooms. It turns out that somewhere in episode 3 or later episodes, there will be a location where all of these new characters will be present at the same time. We probably won't see this room until episode 5 or 6. First, we have to have them meet the new characters separately in the Graveyard Adventure and the Fast Food Adventure, and then Kane uses them all in a new adventure to confuse the characters and create a real dangerous challenge for them. Now let's remember all the teasers, scenes from which didn't materialize in the second episode. The first such teaser is the one where all the characters are lying on the grass, relaxing and enjoying the sunlight until Kane's shadow looms over them. The characters had planned to rest at the beginning of episode 3, but Kane turned out to have his own plans for the main character's day. Another teaser showed us a Ferris wheel with Pomni, Ragata, and Kinger on it, spinning much faster than it normally should. Kane was flying nearby and had his arm outstretched towards the wheel. There are two possibilities. Kane is trying to stop the wheel from accelerating too fast, or vice versa, he wants to swing it even faster. I think that in the third episode, the characters won't want to take part in Kane's adventures right away, so he will force the characters to participate. For example, by torturing the characters in various elaborate ways. We should not forget that it is Kane, according to Gooseworks, who is the main antagonist of the whole show. There were as many as 3 teasers with scenes in Candy Canyon that we didn't see. From this, we can deduce that the location for at least one more adventure will be Candy Canyon again. In one of the teasers, we saw the gates of the kingdom. In the foreground, we see a huge Kane, who is holding all the heroes in his enlarged hat again, except Zooble. It turns out that Zooble wouldn't show up in Candy Canyon at any other opportunity either. Although Gooseworks has definitely said that Zooble will get a sufficient role in the following episodes, despite the fact that she was given almost no screen time in the second one. There is another option, which is that Kane didn't enlarge himself, but shrunk all the other characters to fit into his hat. This version is reinforced by the fact that the size of the Kingdom Gate in the background matches Kane's size much more than the size of the heroes. The gates should be big enough, but the characters in the hat are even too small against them. There's another teaser very similar to this one. It shows Kane, again shrinking the heroes, placing Kinger and Gangle in a gumball machine. Pomni was standing on the candy platform below, and next to her was Gummy Goo, with half of his body stuck in that airborne candy platform. In my opinion, this scene is explained by the following. Kane had just materialized this airborne candy platform for Pomni to stand on, but Kane didn't realize that Gummy Goo would be nearby, and created the platform around him. Because of this, the crocodile is restrained by the candy bar and is immobile. The last teaser shows us the fire that will happen in Candy Canyon. It looks like it's going to be set by Kane, because he looks as calm as possible in the fire, unlike Pomni, Ragata, and Gangle. The epicenter of the fire was a candle that someone put in the middle of a birthday cake and lit. I'm pretty sure it was Kane. It's likely that such an elaborate ordeal is part of Kane's new adventure. Plus, he's wearing a cooking hat here, and probably baked this very cake. Ragata and Gangle run away from the fire in fear, and Pomni is motionless in a pose of a very scared and emotionally tense person with a frightened face. To summarize, we can conclude that the third episode will introduce us to a new location and new characters that we saw in the teasers, but it can quietly bring back the old locations and familiar characters. What do you think about it? When do you think we should wait for the third episode? When will there be unshown new characters and teasers? Write your theories in the comments, and I'll be sure to read them. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Best of luck to everyone, and bye-bye.